Ryan Reynolds here for, I guess, my 100th Mint commercial. No, don't. No. I mean, honestly, when I started this, I thought I only have to do like 4 of these. I mean, it's unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month. How are there still people paying 2 or 3 times that much? I'm sorry, I shouldn't be victim blaming here. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save. Whenever you're ready.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
Welcome back, folks. It's Thursday, September 19th, 2024. Born on this date in 1926, former Alabama governor and first lady, whose namesake college's original campus is located in Andalusia. Go Saints. Lurleen Baines Wallace. Hey, if you'd like to be one of the folks who come on the Friday shows and take our Alabama news quiz, now's your chance. We have an opening between 3 and 4 o'clock this afternoon to have somebody record that with us. If you're interested, shoot me an email at imorgan@al.com. imorgan@al.com. And make sure you put quiz in the subject line. I've had that email nearly 20 years, and the inbox fills up with so much stuff. I want to be able to search for these quickly. So make sure you put quiz in the subject line. Sometime afternoon, we'll do a drawing to see who will be on the show today. I intend to respond to everyone, so we won't keep people wondering too long after noon. Now, for those who don't come on today, we might be able to schedule you for a later date. All right, today let's talk about that half-point Fed cut and reaction it got from one Alabama politician. Later on after the break, we're going to give you more on Tuesday night's contentious Sylacauga City Council meeting concerning the Haitian migrants in town, and there are a couple of other items in between. My name's Ike Morgan, and we're down in Alabama. U.S. Senator Tommy Tuberville of Alabama has taken issue with the Federal Reserve's half-point cut of its key interest rate, reports AL.com's Howard Koplowitz. Now, here's some background on this for those who may not be as familiar with this story. The Fed directly affects the rate at which banks lend money to one another. This loosens the money supply and typically causes consumer interest rates to fall. That's a demand-side stimulus from more people borrowing and spending. Now, simply, the Fed might cut the rate if it's more worried about economic softness than it is inflation. It hasn't cut rates since 2020 because inflation was the fly in the slaw. As a matter of fact, the key rate has been sitting at a 20-year high of 5.3%. Well, now prices aren't rising as quickly. Focus has turned to keeping the economic engine humming. You'll often see the Fed nudge the rate up or down by a quarter point, but yesterday it dropped the rate a robust half point. It should be noted that everybody has known for weeks that the Fed was going to cut the rate, so market adjustments have already happened in anticipation. The bigger cut may get a little more juice out of this cut going forward, though, which brings us to the presidential election. Conventional wisdom says that good economic numbers favor the incumbent party, which seems to be Tuberville's beef. Quote, "The Fed's drastic rate cut is shamelessly political. Our nation's central bank has no business moving rates this close to an election and is clearly trying to tip the balance in favor of Kamala Harris." The Fed, which decides whether or not to change rates quarterly, makes its decisions independently of the federal government. When Donald Trump was president, he tried to pressure the Fed to cut rates heading into the 2020 campaign season, but it held off until March 2020 as the COVID pandemic set in. We have 47 days until November the 5th. The Trump camp said the former president will indeed attend the Alabama-Georgia game on September 28th in Tuscaloosa, reports AL.com's Carol Robinson and Howard Koplowitz. An informal poll shows that nearly 100% of Tide fans who support Trump's presidential bid thinks it's awesome that he'll be there, and that nearly 100% of the Tide fans who oppose Trump think it's terrible that he'll be here. Trump can badmouth barbecue, football, cheese grits, and the F-150 and still easily carry Alabama. But UGA's home state is being hotly contested, as Braves fans already know by all the TV campaign ads. Yesterday, we mentioned the Alabama Star ID program, which seeks to make your driver license or state-issued ID compliant with the Real ID Act. Come May 7th, in order to use your license or other state ID to board aircraft, you will have to make sure to upgrade it to Star ID status. Now, Mobile County License Commissioner Nick Matranga points out that there are several other documents that can be used that would comply with the Real ID Act. I won't get into explaining all of them here. There's a list on the TSA's website. They include things such as passports, Defense Department IDs, permanent resident cards, veteran health identification cards, and more. But if you plan to use your state-issued ID, make sure you get that yellow star on it to show it's a Star ID. There are a list of documents you'll need on the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency's website. And of course, if you plan to use some of those other acceptable documents, double check ahead of time that yours is valid and will be accepted. Note that you will be dealing with government operations through all of this. Hopefully my saying that won't affect my next TSA screening. Hey, we're going to take a quick ad break. We're trying to save up for a house band. Y'all stay with us. On Tuesday, there was another contentious meeting of the Sylacauga City Council over the arrival of Haitian migrants. AL.com's William Thornton reported on it, and there were a few more answers than there were after the last meeting. The issue of Haitian migrants who have looked for work in the U.S. as their home country is enveloped in gang violence has cropped up in a few places in the country, notably Springfield, Ohio, and national politicians have weighed in during this election campaign. Lots of rumors are out there, and some citizens are frustrated either by the presence of the Haitians or that there isn't more known about their situations. Sylacauga city officials estimate there are up to 60 Haitian migrants in Sylacauga. Now, that's a lot less than the 15,000 in Springfield. Sylacauga School Superintendent Michelle Eller said that this fall the system added only one Haitian student, and council members say the migrants are employed by a temp service and are on temporary work visas. Several have made local acquaintances by attending church services. Now we're going to play audio of citizens making remarks at the meeting, and then you'll hear William Thornton interviewing Sylacauga Council President Tiffany Nix and City Councilman Ashton Fowler.
A lot of people in Sylacauga and the surrounding area are concerned about the migrant influx that we're seeing and how that's going to change our way of life. Maybe you don't live in town. Maybe you guys live in a nice neighborhood. Maybe the money is that great. I would like to know how much money you're getting from the federal government to ignore this problem or be complicit and enable it, because either way it's happening. And it's not happening against your knowledge. It's obviously happening in your city, so you know what's going on. And you wanted to shut down the meeting last time, which means we're going to talk about it this time and hopefully not shut down the meeting, because we have the freedom to speak in this country. And I wouldn't be here unless I saw that, but I found that very disrespectful and very much against our human rights here in this country. And also, with the influx of these migrants, it's against my human right to be trampled on and to have my economy and my housing prices skyrocket because of federal housing vouchers are going to raise the cost of housing in my city due to the influx of migrants. Okay, because we all know how that works. A landlord, all they have to do is just tell the feds that it's $5,000 a month for this little old one-bedroom apartment or whatever, and it's really only, $800 a month? But at the same time, we're getting their money from the federal government. It's raising prices on everything else around us in the community. It's hurting us. It's raising tax values on properties. And it's not people coming in with a whole bunch of money that want to spend money in Sylacauga and boost the economy. It's people that are coming here. They're not like immigrants of the past, all right? They're immigrants that are coming in here and getting free houses, free phones, free health care, and not having to do a damn thing for it because it's like an invasion. And as far as I know, all I see are military-aged males. When I walk into the Walmart around here, it feels like I'm in a third world airport. And I don't see a whole lot of families. So what's going on is what I want to know. And it's not fair. It's against our rights. We did not consent to this. And the people are pissed. I'm one of them. Apparently, I'm probably the only one that's here tonight, unless anyone else wants to add to what I have to say. But it's my duty as a citizen of this country to tell you what you're doing wrong and to stop it. And to respect our borders, respect the people of this nation, respect the progeny that built this nation, the ones that built this nation. And you realize you're opening a can of worms that is going to cause a whole lot of issues for our state. I've lived in other states, I've seen it, and you're gonna add to crime. You're gonna have different groups of people at odds with each other. It's not what you might think it is. In fact, it's the opposite of what they tell you it is. It's not always that great. And when you start having hotels and apartment complexes taken over by like-minded individuals when they all get together, what are you going to do? You're going to stop that? If you can't stop that, then we're going to have to stop it.
I have a right to say what's going on in my town. And I hate my tax money keeps being spent in this kind of way. Because there's no way these people are paying their own rent, paid their way over here, or any of this other. My money is doing it, and I am tired of it. And I don't care if there's 10 or 200. I travel a lot. I still travel. And a lot of these people that are coming into our country, their countries are trashed. I've been to a lot of third world countries that are trashed. And that's what they'll do to our country. Don't tell me they're going to come over here and make it better.
Nor any private entity has any legal obligation to notify you or any other local government when they're bringing immigrants into your city. None. Morally, you might think it's right, but legally, they don't have to. It's amazing to me that such a small group of people is creating such disorder in this town. I didn't hear a peep out of anybody when there were Croatians working at Coosa Valley Healthcare. Nobody was asking about their immigration status, if they were legally vetted. We have a large Mexican population in this town. I don't hear anybody crying about their immigration status. Are they here legal or illegal? But then you go to all these restaurants and different businesses in town, they're working there. You still going there spending your money. I don't hear anybody questioning the immigration status of all the people from the Middle East that are buying up convenience stores, gas stations, and restaurants with Mexicans cooking in them. And you're going there spending your money, not concerned about if they're taking your money, their profits, send it back to the Middle East, supporting terrorism. Where's all this conspiracy about a few people who want to work coming from? You listen to all these conspiracy statements, the former president talking about they eating dogs and cats. Give me a break. These people are here just to get some work.
Okay, now from here, you'll hear Bill. Many of y'all will recognize his voice. The woman is Council President Tiffany Nix, and the other man is Councilman Ashton Fowler.
How did it come about? I mean, who?
The meeting?
Yeah, the meeting. Not the one that's coming up Tuesday, but the one that was on Sunday.
So this is how it come about. So you're on AOL.com, so you've seen the news clip that's been floating around about me. So I had someone to reach out to me on Facebook, and he's a pastor at a church in Birmingham, and he's originally from Haiti, and so he speaks fluent in Creole and English, and he reached out to ask me if he could, help me in any way. So I called him. I told him that would be great, and I told him about Ashton. I told him that there were a few had been going to church with Ashton every Sunday, and he said that he could come down, and even help translate the service or so on and so forth. And he also asked me to get an address that he was going to go by and see him. So when he decided that he was going to go by and see him, that's when I decided, I'll go too, because it's in my district. So, with all this stuff going on, what better way to hear it than from, the people themselves. So Ashton was still at church because I thought they were going to get out of church at 11, but they didn't get out to 12. So I got there probably like 11:15. So I just went over there and I introduced myself, and there was one person amongst everybody. I don't remember his name. I'm bad with names. But there was one person amongst everybody who spoke more English than the rest of them. So I told him who I was, and just told him, just coming by to check on him, just to see how things were, and just to see if I could ask them, a few questions about just about their journey, how they got here, how it works, because I don't know. And to be honest, I don't even think I know the difference, so forgive my ignorance. I probably regret saying this on video between an immigrant and a migrant.
Yeah.
So just trying to get some clarification because there's so many questions. So the guy, he was just telling me that they were here, for work, and I was asking him, I was telling him that we had somebody who spoke Creole, so they were excited about that. And he asked me, he said, well, is he Haitian? I said, yeah, he's Haitian, and he speaks Creole, so he's coming. So they were really excited about that. But just telling them that some of them had been going to church, and then that one guy told me too. He said I didn't go to church today because I was tired. That's what he said. He said they didn't go to church that day. So I was just asking them about work, and they were just saying that they get they're here on work visas. Like they even got a little defensive, and they had started like getting their papers like did we do something wrong? Like what's going on? Are we okay? And I'm like yeah, you're fine. And what the term I use, I said I'm just nosy. I mean I'm Tiffany, and I'm just nosy. Trying to
get answers to so we're not standing still when concerned citizens come to us. We want to give them answers.
Let me ask you this: when did y'all start first hearing questions? Was it before the meeting or
well, for us, it was the meeting, but we had seen some stuff being posted on social media.
And social media, I personally take with a grain of salt. I don't, and this has been since I've been in office in 2016. I engage people individually. If they have questions for me, I answer them, but I don't argue. I don't do anything like that on social media. You know as well as I do that nothing gets accomplished that way. Yeah. So I reach out to them in person. So when I see these comments of, I heard this, I heard that on Facebook, well, no, I will gladly address it in person and talk. And I was never singled out at that time before the meeting. So I took it all, and I knew the Haitians were here. Obviously, they were coming to my church. We had a couple show up. It's been over a month, and they showed up. It's probably been 2 months, and there was 3 of them, and then there was 4, 5, 6, and it got up to 10, and it varied. But there were some Haitians at the church every Sunday, and that's what I told Tiffany, and that's when the meeting came about, and everything was let out. So then it snowballed from there into the interpreter finding us and Sunday taking place.
Do you find that the stories that people are saying, like for example, how many Haitians are here? That's inflated?
I don't think so. I think they're exaggerating. I think there's
they're inflating it, the number. Yeah. They're saying hundreds, and that's not true.
That's an exaggeration. That is from what I was told, and again, this is hearsay, there's more in Talladega than they are in Sylacauga. But again, the same people that are here today, they may be gone tomorrow because they're just searching work. So they've been here. They've been here since January, but the reason we haven't been seeing them is because they were working. So the reason they're visible now is because the work assignments that they have ended. So that's why you see them. Like they're looking for work. Like they don't want to be seen. They just want to stay out of the way. They don't want to be bothered. They just want work. They want to work. So and then their biggest concerns were with the temp force, because what they told me, the temp force is basically they felt like they were taking advantage of them, so to speak. I don't know if I should use that term, because they were saying the temp force get us the job and they get paid for us to work, and we only get paid a certain amount, and we were explaining to them that's how it works.
Yeah, me for any contractor.
But they didn't understand that, because they were saying we weren't getting the money, they were paying the people.
I was employed by temp service right out of college, so
So and then another concern they had, they said about some gunshots they were hearing at night, so they were like terrified. They was like, hey, what's going on? Like, should we be concerned? What's going on? And and I just explained to them, it's random. I hate to say it's random, and it may be a little bit more normal than it should be, but nothing was targeted.
They were thinking it was targeted towards them.
When I talked to the Haitians in Albertville, they had just come over, and the gangs over there, they target people, and it's not random at all. But anyway, so do you feel? I guess the next question is do you feel like hopefully this meeting that's coming up next Tuesday will answer some of those questions that a lot of these people
I hope so. I think it will, and from what I heard from the meeting that happened last week with the same individuals down in Fayetteville, there was a lot of information given. because what's not understood, you heard a gentleman here saying, are you paying them? Who's paying them? And that's we have at a local level and even at a state level have nothing to do. Our state representatives, some, had to reach out to their federal counterparts in D.C. to say, hey, explain this, give us the information to give our counterparts, and it just downfall from there where we can give our general public the information because we don't know the legality of how they got here. And I found out the two different work permits, the 18-month and the 24-month, and them searching for work. We didn't see them when they had their assignments. Their assignments ended. Some of them worked night shifts, so there was people sitting out on the porch during the day. Well, yeah, they're not working today; they're working at night. Some assignments ended, so they were sitting there during working hours, so to speak, and they're waiting for their next assignment to come up because everybody's not on the same contract and schedule, so it differs.
How do you feel about the questions that people have about, we don't know where this is headed, we don't know if there's more people coming, we don't know,
I'll say this, they have every right to ask the questions. If you're worried, like the gentleman said, I'm a naturally curious person and I'm asking out of curiosity. Absolutely. That's what this meeting, the time in this meeting is for. And I believe that's warranted for them to ask the question. But I think the frustration, and I could be wrong, this is just from my eyes only, is the frustration is when we also say we don't know. They think we know more than we do, and that's just not the case at the local level. We don't have information on the immigration laws and how they got here, and could we find out? Yeah, that's what we're doing. That's what the next meeting Tuesday is about.
Yeah, but also, we're being perceived as we're having secret meetings or we're being untruthful, by certain people. They're spreading the lies and the gossip on social media, so it's not really helping. I mean, all of our meetings are public. I mean, we don't have anything to hide. When we get information, we relay that information to the public, but at the same time, we don't have anything to give you. And, and some people are just demanding an answer, but there's nothing to tell you. But, and me going over there to do that visit or to do that meeting, it had nothing to do with this. I probably wouldn't have even said anything about it if the guy hadn't have asked if we've been over there, because I just don't feel that it was one and the same.
It was out of curiosity for our own good.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to sit up here and somebody asks the question and, like he just did, have you talked to him and got the information?
But it's still not our job. That's still not our job.
But we're proactive, and we wanted to get ahead of the curve and find out information for ourselves to have some, because we are elected by the people to work for the people, and we want to do that, and that's what we did. We went the extra mile to get information so we can be better prepped for any meetings and questions that we could possibly answer.
Okay. But I also went to just to see, because I don't know, maybe there was some sort of gap that I could have helped bridge. Anytime you see new people coming into town, I always want to be a helping hand. You never know who's going to end up helping you. I don't know. There may have been something that I could have assisted them with or pointed them in the right direction to where they could have gotten some assistance that they needed. But believe it or not, lo and behold, they didn't ask for anything. They didn't ask for anything. I'm talking about not one thing. So, it was what it was. And again, if the guy hadn't have brought it up, I probably wouldn't have even mentioned it.
All right. Thank you so much.
Did y'all hear Miss Nix call us AOL.com? That happens a lot. As long as they call us something, I guess. Thank y'all so much for listening. We'll be back here tomorrow, hopefully giving one of y'all a quiz. Remember, I'm at IMORGAN@AL.com. As always, come on by and see us anytime you want to on the internet at AL.com. Not AOL.com, AL.com.